Patriots and friends of the Patriot Battalion, friends of First Sergeant Riddle and the Riddle family, friends of First Sergeant Derrick, who's off to my right off screen here, and the Derrick family, and then everybody that's a part of the Maine Recruiting Company and the New England Recruiting Battalion. Thanks a lot for joining us today for really 3 separate events. One, we're recognizing First Sergeant Riddle with an MSM that is being presented to him on behalf of the CG, Commanding General of the United States Army Recruiting Command, Major General Muth. Second, we're also recognizing him for, this is really his retirement ceremony. We have some retirement gifts and some going away gifts from the company that they'd like to present him. And third, we're going to conduct a change of responsibility for the Maine Recruiting Company, which will be effectively today transitioning from First Sergeant Riddle to First Sergeant Derrick. So first off, I'm going to start off with the official part of this thing. First Sergeant Riddle, we had a little hail and farewell last night, and we mentioned some of First Sergeant Riddle's accomplishments. Besides his amazing woodworking skills, everybody was commenting on him on that, and I just have to say, he made gifts. He made woodworking products for every single baby in our battalion. He presented things to all of his soldiers. He was always giving of himself, giving of his time, ensuring that his recruiters were properly taken care of. And one of those skills he always leveraged was his woodworking skills and the time that he could give to that. But I think more so what this MSM is documenting is the contributions that First Sergeant Riddle made to the Maine Recruiting Company and to several other units. When he was the Maine Recruiting Company First Sergeant from 2018 to 2020, on average, he took his 40 soldiers and they were able to place in over 501 individuals during that time period. And he led the way for the battalion in the Army Reserve recruiting. So before that, he was one of the top military entrance processing station guidance counselors in the entire Army, as he worked at the Fort Lee MEPS, not a small place, not a not so busy place. And he took that place and made it, his thing was a culture of commitment, right? He implemented a culture of commitment in that Fort Lee MEPS, and he was there every single day for the folks that he was supporting. And then finally, I'd like to talk all the way back to 2012, 2015, his times when he was serving as a station commander, and he was leading the way for several different battalions across the United States Army Recruiting Command. He led one of our national assets. I think you were saying last night in Hail and Farewell, he hit every single state except for Maine. So he drove to all the states except for Maine, leading a national asset, his commitment to putting people in the Army, telling the Army story, leading the way as the top station commander in Lexington Recruiting Company, #1 of 6 in his company, #1 of 28 inside the entire battalion as far as station commanders. Like, that's 10 years of First Sergeant Riddle's commitment to the Army, and the award of the MSM today, that's what that's recognizing. He is the consummate professional. He is the consummate Mountain Dew drinker. As you can see, we have the hand sanitizer just off, so that everybody who's talking today with COVID, we're keeping our distance, we're maintaining our spacing. We have some hand sanitizer there. But just as important for First Sergeant Riddle, we have some gut sanitizer, the Mountain Dew, which helps keeps you clean and clear.
Absolutely, sir.
And you will never find First Sergeant Riddle without a Mountain Dew. And that is something that I've definitely appreciated his battalion commander of him, because I'm a Mountain Dew fan myself and Taco Bell, so we are kindred spirits in that regard. But really, when it comes down to it, First Sergeant Riddle, you have ended your career, and you have ended the time in New England Recruiting Battalion on an incredibly high note.
Thanks, sir.
You have ended on an incredibly high note. They were our top Army Reserve recruiting company for the battalion. They were the #2 company overall in the battalion for the last 2 years. They are leading the way for a lot of things like efficiency, like planning, and recruiter work ethic, because First Sergeant Riddle continues to work with the recruiters, empower them, and push the station commanders to be effective and to get after it. And all these enlistments, over 500 enlistments in the state of Maine, which is not a large state, but has a powerhouse of a first sergeant and a powerhouse of a company that Captain McIntosh is going to talk a little bit about here in a bit. But officially today, we'll recognize him with the Meritorious Service Medal. So please, Sergeant Philpott, will you publish the orders?
Attention orders. The Meritorious Service Medal is awarded to First Sergeant Joshua R. Riddle for exceptionally meritorious service while dedicating over 20 years to the United States Army, culminating as First Sergeant of the Maine Recruiting Company. First Sergeant Riddle's patriotism and dedication to duty represented the spirit of an exceptional soldier and leader who served with the utmost distinction in every assignment. His performance and professionalism reflect great credit upon him, the United States Army Recruiting Command, and the United States Army. From 1 October 2010 to 30 September 2020. Signed, Frank M. Muth, Major General Commanding.
A little COVID elbow bump. So let's give him a round of applause. First Sergeant, so from the official perspective, the floor is yours until I bring Captain McIntosh on.
So first of all, just want to say thank you, sir. I got a lot of comments I want to make in the speech a little bit later on, but I just want to take this time to thank the Army. The United States Army got me to where I am today. They gave me numerous opportunities along the way. It's been a roller coaster ride, up and down, good, bad, but overall, I just want to say thank you to the Army for allowing me to serve and giving me this time to help, transition my family and prepare them for the future and everything that they, get ready to embark on as well.
So we're going to we have a letter from General Muth on behalf of First Sergeant Riddle's retirement, and we'll go ahead and have that read at this time. So Sergeant Philpott, please read the General's letter.
Dear First Sergeant Riddle, Leslie and I would like to express our congratulations on your retirement. It is indeed a wonderful day for you and your family. Your contributions to both Recruiting Command and our Army are immeasurable, and we are proud to have you as part of our team. We would like to thank you for your service to our nation. You can take pride in your many years of dedicated service to our country and our soldiers. Godspeed to you and your family and your future endeavors. Respectfully, Frank M. Muth, Major General Commanding.
And First Sergeant Riddle will be moving out. He just got the improved career skills program. So what he is doing is, as he changes his responsibility here today, he'll be moving into that program, which allows him to basically do a pilot and a partnership and an internship with the company. Practice with them as he transitions out of the military for a few months, and then hopefully he gets a job with them. First Sergeant.
Yep, absolutely.
Hey, so best of luck to you and your family during your retirement.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you. Okay, I'll turn it over to Captain McIntosh.
All right, so this is kind of the informal part of the ceremony. As Lieutenant Colonel Barbina alluded to, First Sergeant Riddle is a great artisan and woodworker. And so the soldiers and I from Maine Company thought it would only be appropriate to get you some piece of local artisanship from the state of Maine. This is a chainsaw carving of a bear. That's the Maine Company mascot. And I think it also kind of symbolizes the tenacity and drive that you have brought to this company in your 2 years of service here. So I would like to just read, there's an inscription at the bottom. It says, First Sergeant Riddle, thank you for your dedication, for your dedicated service to Maine Company. February 2018 to May 2020, your care and passion for recruiters will be greatly missed from the NCOs and officers of Maine Company.
Thanks.
That's awesome. Take him home with me. A little bit of Maine going to Tennessee. So
Yeah.
he's coming home.
Awesome. Okay, let's give us about a minute here to transition. We'll transition to the formal award ceremony. We'll have to leave that Mountain Dew proudly displayed there while we execute this ceremony.
I think we'll want to.
Yeah, however you guys want to do it, I'll just go straight there. Okay.
All right. Good morning and welcome to the virtual change of responsibility ceremony for the Maine Recruiting Company. Today, First Sergeant Joshua R. Riddle will turn over the duties of First Sergeant from the Maine Company to First Sergeant Zachary A. Derrick. The role of the First Sergeant. When you are talking about the First Sergeant, you are talking about the lifeblood of the Army. There can be no substitute for this position or any question of its importance. Perhaps their rank insignia should be the keystone rather than the traditional one. It is the first sergeant where all unit operations merge. The first sergeant holds formations, instructs platoon sergeants, advises the commander, and assists in training of all enlisted members. In the German Army, the first sergeant is referred to as the father of the company. He is the provider, the disciplinarian, the wise counselor, the tough and unbending foe, the confidant, the sounding board, everything that we need in a leader during our personal success or failure, the father of the company. The Maine Recruiting Company Commander, Captain John C. McIntosh, will now oversee the transfer of responsibility.
Sir, I would like to relinquish my duties as First Sergeant of the Maine Recruiting Company.
Thank you for your dedicated service to this company, First Sergeant.
Thank you, sir.
First Sergeant Derrick, I'm entrusting the care and the compassion for the soldiers of Maine Recruiting Company to your service.
Sir, I accept the duties and responsibility as the Maine Company First Sergeant and will ensure the care of our families and soldiers.
Ladies and gentlemen, the commander of the Maine Recruiting Company, Captain John C. McIntosh.
Lieutenant Colonel Barbina, Command Sergeant Major Garcia, Master Sergeant Merrill, civilian aide to the Secretary of the Army, Ms. Brenda Pendles, distinguished guests, fellow commanders and first sergeants of New England Recruiting Battalion, and non-commissioned officers of the Maine Recruiting Company, thank you for attending today's ceremony. Because of COVID-19 and the safety measures we have taken, today is our only chance to formally celebrate the distinguished career and accomplishments of First Sergeant Joshua Riddle. And it is also our only opportunity to welcome Maine's new First Sergeant, Sergeant First Class Zachary Derrick. First Sergeant Riddle will proudly tell anyone that he spent the first 15 years of his career in the great state of Kentucky. First as an 88 Mike as part of the 594th Transportation Company, where he deployed to Iraq twice. Then as a recruiter in Corbin Recruiting Station in Kentucky, and later as a station commander of Richmond Recruiting Station. After his successful station command, where he went on to serve as an exhibitor for the Mission Support Brigade, driving a national asset in support of USAREC. There he visited, or at least passed through, 47 of 48 states in the continental United States. The only state he did not visit was a little-known state at the far northeast of the nation, Maine. He went on to serve as First Sergeant of the Mission Support HHC, Mission Support Battalion HHC, then as Senior Guidance Counselor to Fort Lee MEPS before coming to Maine to be First Sergeant. Maine is not the first choice of many 79 Romeos. Besides fearing cold weather and long winters, New England has a reputation for being a difficult place to recruit. Apparently 3 other Master Sergeants at USAREC turned down this assignment before it came to First Sergeant Riddle, and I am grateful for that. I believe that the attitude of the other Master Sergeants in USAREC was Maine Company's gain, because in First Sergeant Riddle we got a strong and steady leader, a highly competent expert in recruiting, and most of all a leader who cared for the soldiers and families of Maine Recruiting Company. First Sergeant Riddle's motto was always, take care of the soldiers and they will take care of the mission, and that is what he did on a daily basis. For me personally, even though I came into this command as a senior captain, I felt on my way up here like I was a second lieutenant again in a totally new career field and no idea how I fit in. I met First Sergeant Riddle at a Scarborough recruiting station, and I watched him and Captain Chen have the joy of rehearsing the CQTB to Lieutenant Colonel Anzalone. And I watched First Sergeant take all of the heat of the tough questions Lieutenant Colonel Anzalone had intended for Captain Chen. It was at that point I realized that First Sergeant Riddle was a team player who was going to have my back. As a company leadership team, we have traveled thousands of miles together, sat through and briefed on thousands of conference calls and briefings, trained and mentored the company, and helped soldiers through financial, professional, and personal problems. Through all of this, I have relied on your advice, First Sergeant, and leadership. I've seen the long hours that you work. I have watched your government phone ring off the hook continuously for 2 years. I have seen the toll that having your family in Tennessee has taken for the past year and a half. So I want you to know from the bottom of my heart and from the hearts of all the soldiers in Maine Company, we are grateful to you. We will miss you, and we wish you a happy retirement. First Sergeant Derrick, welcome to Maine Company. You and your wife Jen, your son Zachary, and your daughter Tabitha will be great additions to the Maine family. You came here with an excellent reputation as a successful station commander, and you've already demonstrated to myself and the company what a fine leader you are. I have personally enjoyed our conversations, and I look forward to the short time we'll have together as a company leadership team. And most of all, I am grateful that Maine Company will have another great First Sergeant. Thank you all for your time. Patriots win. Black Bears.
Ladies and gentlemen, the outgoing First Sergeant Joshua R. Riddle.
All right, good morning, everyone. Lieutenant Colonel Barbina, Command Sergeant Major Garcia, guests, family, and friends. Thank you all for tuning in this morning for the Maine Company Change of Responsibility. Due to the current COVID-19 situation, we're conducting this ceremony virtually. This was not exactly how I planned my time in the Army would come to end, but at the end of the day, we must keep our soldiers and their families safe. I just want to start out by saying it's customary that we present a bouquet of red roses to the outgoing First Sergeant spouse, signifying the bonds of loyalty and affection between the command and the First Sergeant's wife, and to signify our sorrow at her departure from the command. She will be remembered and missed. Well, unfortunately, we didn't have the opportunity to do that here today, as my spouse is some 1,200 miles away. But with a little coordination and effort, I was able to have those roses delivered to her personally this morning, and they were received. So as I continue, I just want to take the opportunity to reach out to the 1st Recruiting Brigade team, Colonel Cushing, Command Sergeant Major Kunk. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to serve as the First Sergeant of the Maine Recruiting Company. I would also like to say thank you for the visits to recognize our soldiers in the middle of a New England winter. Lieutenant Colonel Barbina, Command Sergeant Major Garcia, thank you both for the mentorship to me, station commanders, and recruiters. You have enhanced and developed the Maine NCOs to be better leaders for the Army. We will always cherish the genuine care and concern you had for us and our careers. The civilian aide to the Secretary of the Army, Ms. Brenda Pennels, the CASA for the state of Maine, thank you for connecting our recruiters to key influencers throughout the state. Although you've only been in position a short time, you've certainly hit the ground running. I would also like to take this time to thank you for your 20+ years of Army service and continued Army service in your current role. Captain McIntosh, thank you for your leadership, professional guidance you've provided to me and the soldiers of the company. Also, our many trips throughout Maine, from the county to Kittery, listening to the Voice of Maine radio and our discussions from politics to family. We've driven many miles driven, long hours, and numerous phone calls. But at the end of the day, we were both there together. To the soldiers of the Maine Company, thank you for everything you do daily. I'm truly honored to have served as your First Sergeant for the last 27 months. I think we've officially been through just about everything USAREC has to offer. We was able to bring a brand new future soldier onto rolls in order to get her paid and able to get her family a place to live outside of a homeless shelter. You've also enlisted, as of yesterday, 507 people in the active duty Army and 100 into the Army Reserve. We've come to work with 2 feet of snow on the ground during a nor'easter, and now we're teleworking because of a pandemic. You found ways to overcome every obstacle that's been thrown at you. Your hard work and tireless dedication to achieving the Army's mission doesn't go unnoticed. Just remember, don't believe that everyone is truly all set. The Army can help them, they just don't realize it yet. And most importantly, I want to thank my family. Our families are strength, and so it is with me for the last 20 years. I want to publicly thank them for their unwavering support to me and our Army. And I'm unbelievably lucky to have by my side an incredible woman in Jenna. Today is also a special day because it is Military Spouse Appreciation Day. She has been my guiding light, my inner strength that has kept me going through the toughest of times. She's been a constant source of inspiration and love. And like many other Army spouses, she had to be a single parent during deployments and countless days of training. Just recently, she's been holding the fort down for the last 17 months as a single parent. She's raised our children, our 3 wonderful children, Haley, Ty, and Marley. And I want to thank all 3 of them for their love, their support, and their sacrifice throughout so many years. And I'm so proud of all 3 of you. Our children are the real reason that we in uniform serve. Some say it's education, some say it's money, or for a variety of other reasons. No, it's for others. We serve for others, and most importantly, we serve for our children. Dad is coming home. Before I forget, I would like to personally thank the guidance counselors at the Portland Mets. Sergeant First Class DeFaria, Sergeant First Class Biswell, and Mr. Al Lamontagne. Thank you for everything. Without you all, Maine Company wouldn't have been able to enlist a single person in the Army. I appreciate the early morning calls, canceled projections, and walk-on slots. You all are truly invested in the battalion commander's mission and are always looking for a yes and not preventing those young men and women from achieving their goals and passions. First Sergeant Derrick, I would like to welcome you, Jennifer, and your children to the Maine Company. I wish nothing but the best for you and your family while you're here. You are now part of the best company in the New England Recruiting Battalion. New Hampshire is now your biggest competition.
South Shore too, they're kind of...
Now you'll be able to actually win one of the battalion competitions since Bangor's part of your team, and they always crush Amherst. In closing, I just want to say thank you, and may God bless those who have made the ultimate sacrifice and given their tomorrows for our todays. Black Bear 7, signing off.
Okay. Congratulations, First Sergeant. Good job. Good job.
Boom.
Pretty good. All right.
The First Sergeant of Maine Recruiting Company, First Sergeant Zachary A. Derrick. Good morning to Colonel Cushing, Lieutenant Colonel Barbina, Command Sergeant Major Kunk, Command Sergeant Major Garcia, and those watching virtually at home. I want to start by thanking each of you for your opportunity to lead and mentor the soldiers of this great company. I will not forget that each and every single one of you vouched for me on the way up and were able to get me this position. I truly, from the bottom of my heart, cannot thank you enough. All I can promise in return is I will do everything I can to better this company every day and to continue to better the soldiers of this battalion that has given me and my family so much. Words cannot properly express how grateful I am for this opportunity. Thank you. Next, I'd like to thank the soldiers that I have served with to this point. Without each and every single one of you, I would not have become the leader I am today. From my bunkmate in Fort Benning all those years ago, to the greatest team of NCOs I've ever worked with in Amherst, New Hampshire. You all are responsible for my success as much as I am. I would not be here without your belief in me, and I would not be the person I am today without my experience with each of you. Thank you. To my wife, Jennifer, You have been the single greatest reasons for my success in the Army and in life. I know the future always contains adversities and bumps in the road, but with you by my side, I know that we will always persevere. You have taught me that anything is possible and that there is no better prize than coming home to our family every day. You are the greatest mother and wife any person could ever hope for, even if I don't get my debit card back after your shopping sprees. Thank you. To the soldiers of Maine Recruiting Company, thank you for welcoming my family and I with open arms. Your hospitality has been true to the state's motto of welcome home. The road ahead of us is not an easy one. We will each be tried in new and challenging ways, but do not fear it. Welcome it. Embrace it. It is through these challenges that we will learn and become better than any of us can imagine. Winning matters, Patriots pride, Black Bear 7 signing off. Sir, this concludes the ceremony.
Take charge of the company.
Good stuff, good stuff.
Thanks, sir.
Hey, just as we close out this ceremony, great job to Maine Company and their efforts here. We appreciate everybody's dedication during this COVID-19 crisis. So, Sergeant Merrill, if you could bring out one thing we did. So you heard the comments from First Sergeant Riddle about his family, about Jenna, about Jennifer, like in the comments that both these First Sergeants made today. Our battalion has made today, based on some of the recommendations, like First Sergeant Riddle was one of the ones that came up with this idea to show that our military spouses are incredibly important in this battalion. We have made today for the battalion Military Spouse Appreciation Day. And for all the people, as First Sergeant Riddle retires from the Army, he would have never been able to do anything he did in his career without the support of his wife, without the support of all his family and his kids. And then, you heard First Sergeant Derrick, he attributed a lot of his success to his wife as well. And so I can say the same for myself and for all of you out there. Continue to say thank you on behalf of the New England Recruiting Battalion. First Sergeant Riddle, as you retire, enjoy the time with your military spouse, enjoy the time in reconnecting with your family. And for all you out there, continue to focus on safety during this COVID-19 crisis. And we thank every single one of our military spouses. So let's give them a quick round of applause. Maine Company, great job. Thanks everybody for joining us today. If you guys wouldn't mind, we're going to take a few pictures. So thanks for the ceremony. Oh, be safe.